You find yourself in cold, suffocating darkness. There is a familiar weight in your hand. A lantern. It sputters to life, and the world shifts into focus. A staircase spirals endlessly below you. With nowhere else to go, you start down. On every landing stands a door, each one stranger than the last. Some are clear, made from glass or audra. Others still are locked with chains and bars, or stand ajar, spilling inky gloom across the steps at your feet. You hear the ringing of a small bell far above you. It is joined by another, then another. The ringing rushes down the staircase with all the strength of a river. Your lantern sputters out and you are carried down into the dark. The torrent deposits you in front of an open door carved in the constellations of Aora. Each star indicated by a small golden stud. You step inside. A wave of blistering heat hits you. Then a sea salt wind. Divine voices boom and screech. Their words shake the platform beneath you, shake the very air around you. The gods are fighting.
Lay your blame elsewhere, Wodika. I won't suffer your arguments any longer.
Mogren looms large before you, an accusing finger leveled at the melted visage of Wodika. Wodika screws her mouth into a sneer.
You fool! If only we had attacked him when I first proposed it.
Accusations drip bitter as bile from her tongue.
You would dare interrupt me?
Wodika extends a hand, looking for a moment like she intends to swat you from the platform. But the pallid knight gives her a long, impassive look, and at last, she jerks her hand away. The pallid knight looks down at you, a frown etched deep in her otherwise statue-still features.
I am afraid we are not at our best.
The Watchers returned. Perhaps we should hear what he has to say.
Helia's birds chatter anxiously among themselves. Wal's many eyes alight on each god in turn.
We make little enough progress on our own.
They say, a wry smile contorting their alien features.
We try, but agreement eludes us.
Andra's storm-dark eyes swivel to meet yours.
Is there nothing we can do?
Helia asks. Mogren glances at the pallid knight from the corner of her eye. After a thoughtful pause, she speaks.
The time has come for us to seize the power we have long left untouched and absorb our scattered children.
Mogren says. Andra nods, her lure bobbing bright.
Terrible though it would be, perhaps you are right.
I did, and I was scolded like a child for my terrible audacity.
A curl of steam rises from her nose. The pallid knight looks on, impassive.
Should we be killed, we may possess the bodies of our godlike children. Or should we face a force too powerful to stand against, we can absorb their souls, granting us additional strength. Yes, thousands of their lives would be forfeit to serve the greater good.
The pallid knight speaks with the chilly temperance possessed only by the god of death.
We are your gods, forged of thousands upon thousands of willing souls sacrificed on the altar of progress. Yes, our good is greater. But the time for that plan has long passed us by.
The pallid knight says.
Are we to keep nothing for ourselves? Not a single secret retained? Not a solitary mystery?
Wal demands. their voices steadily. Mogren elbows one of Wal's floating eyes away.
Aethys will lay bare our every secret soon enough. What is one or two revealed now? But we get ahead of ourselves. First, the Watcher must get to Ukaizo, and that will be a trial all its own.
Mogren says.
The Guardian of Ukaizo has stood watch over that place for millennia. It will not stand aside, not even for Bareth's herald.
Andra says. Helia, who had been lost in quiet, anxious conversation with her birds, breaks in.
It yet lives.
Of course. Our progenitors crafted it.
Mogren says. A pair of Helia's finches come to join Wal's floating eye. They hover just out of Mogren's reach and swoop in to poke her when she's not looking.
And the Watcher will be forced to reckon with it if he wishes to confront Aethys.
Mogren says. The birds at last linger too long, and Mogren slaps them away. They burst into a cloud of essence, then reform, and fly in a screeching chorus back to Helia.
A creature crafted by the Ingwithans to protect the machinery of reincarnation. It doesn't care much for visitors.
Mogren says, and leans casually on her broadsword.
Will you divulge our every secret to the Kith, Mogren?
Wal shouts. Mogren shrugs.
If it suits me.
Go prepared, Watcher. The Guardian will not stand aside, not even for the Herald of Bareth.
Helia says.
It is not one of Galawain's mindless beasts. It has a heart and a mind, and it will throw neither away to oppose Aethys.
Andra says.
And Aethys will not fight the creature. It would prove little more than a distraction for him, especially as my tsunami and Mogren's volcano couldn't stop him.
Andra says.
It is its own creature, Watcher. It does not listen to us.
Andra says.
There is another topic we have yet to address. Tell me, Watcher, where do you stand?
The Pallid Knight holds up one gauntleted hand, and the other gods fall silent.
What do you think of Aethys' scheme to destroy the wheel?
The Pallid Knight asks. The Pallid Knight spreads wide her hands.
Think of the beyond as a reservoir, the in-between as storm clouds, and souls as rain. When a living thing dies, its soul enters the in-between. And when the in-between grows full, it releases souls into the beyond, where they wait to be redistributed to new bodies, new lives. The wheel is the process by which souls are moved from the in-between to the beyond, from the rain cloud to the reservoir, and from the reservoir into the living world. Without the wheel to mediate the transfer and redistribution of souls, the souls of all who die remain in the in-between. And without souls to fill it, the beyond gradually empties, trapping all of the remaining souls in existence in the in-between. When the beyond is empty and the last creature on Eora dies, that is the end of everything. It is Rimergon's future, the one he wants for us. Soul essence sustains us. We feed off it, off the little fragments you mortal kith shed like snakeskin as you pass into your next life. Without sustenance, we starve as any mortal might. We die and leave a great silence behind, an eternal emptiness from which nothing is born. How can we not? We are each of us beholden to our natures. It is how we made ourselves, just as you are bound by the choices you've made.
Tell us, Watcher, where do you stand?
Wal laughs with the voice of thousands.
What form might our guidance take? And whose guidance would it be? Surely it will be amusing, whatever the result.
Aethys loves the mortals more than any of us. He has always been their greatest champion.
Mogren says,
He believes Kith will rise to his challenge. I am not so sure, but I look forward to watching them try.
Mogren says,
He found our blind spot and exploited it admirably. By the time we even had a hint of what it was he intended, it was already too late to stop him.
Mogren's
If we still had our bodies, we could oppose him.
Wotica balls her bony hands into fists and glares
Do not lay your blame on me. We set them aside after I killed Abaddon, it is true, but you did not fight the decision then.
Andra says. She turns her back on Wotica then, and looks instead.
What if Aethys is right, and Kith succeed in rebuilding the wheel? What then?
Andra asks. Wal's many eyes bounce and blink in quiet delight.
That would be quite amusing indeed.
And what if they fail?
Helia asks.
Then they die. And so do we.
Andra says.
We have to help them.
Helia's voice rises, near to panic. Wotica drives her fist into her hand.
Help them! We should finally bring them to heel!
The Pallid Knight raises a hand and stares at Wotica until she falls silent.
Watcher, Aethys yet values your counsel.
The Pallid Knight says. The Pallid Knight's eyes bore into yours.
An impassioned plea from the Hound of Aethys may still temper his actions. Confront him at Ukaizo. The future of Kith and the gods rests on your shoulders, Watcher, so I hope that you do.
The Pallid Knight's stern countenance softens.
Time moves swiftly away from us now.
The Pallid Knight spreads her hands before her.
Go, Watcher.
The Pallid Knight says.
Do what you must.
The edges of your vision begin to dim. Like a sun setting, twilight encroaches on your mind.
You will not fail.
The Pallid Knight says. The Pallid Knight conjures a blinding white light in her palm that swiftly grows to engulf the room. Then, the crack of thunder rends the air, and you feel the floor drop out beneath you. You come to flat on your back, staring at an all too familiar ceiling. Alone, once again.
Right.
Well, hey. Tell me what's on your mind. Not a one. Thanks to you, I'm sleeping like a babe. No, better even. I never knew nothingness could feel so warm and so nice. No need to fiddle-foot around. I'm listening. Sure thing, Watcher.
Let's get a move on.
You look like you have something on your mind. Hey, look who it is.
This be important, lass, so listen close.
Captain, permission to speak freely. You're making a mistake, and it's gonna get people killed. The Huana can't defend these islands. As soon as Rawatai withdraws, the tribes will cave to another power. I try not to run my mouth when we're on a mission, but what we're doing here is objectively wrong. Wish I could see things your way, Captain. I've gone this far with you. But I'm thinking this is where we part. Don't you go making this any harder. I've given this a lot of thought already. We're no good for each other while we're working at odds. This hurt. The Navy doesn't have the strength to sail against you. So I guess this is goodbye. Come on, Ishi.
You ever be wanting to leave, you just pack right up and ship out.
Why would I want to leave? I like it here.
Just saying, lass. We don't own you. Nobody does.
Ahoy, Captain. What can I do you for?
Agrasima, Casita, for taking me on.
Ukaizo. We are actually going to Ukaizo. The tribes will look to me to bridge our past and our future. A heavy responsibility, I say. What do I want? the praise they showered on Ngati's chosen. Until now, it all seemed an empty gesture, never a promise that I could fulfill. I was the toast of Nekataka, but all of that is behind me. I must turn away from delights and think of the tribe. Ukaizo will show us the way. The tribes will find themselves again. I would discover what our ancestors forgot. The Covenant is more important than ever. I will give it thought. There is time enough for that, at least. Ukaizo should be the discovery of our lifetime. With the trading companies and the Principe ready to descend on each other, I wish the island had kept its secrets a while longer.
It pains me to see my boy so conflicted. Questions tear at his heart, and the ache reaches me even here. If you continue to encourage him, his life will grow more complicated. He will be the savior his people want. Empires have fallen since I favored the Huana with power and wisdom. How they wield it is their choice. Just see that my boy comes to no harm.
There is much to consider, and little time to decide our course. I feel...